Relations and a Bachelor's of Music in Vocal Performance. She's a native of a small town, Hampton, Virginia, where she grew up on a farm with her parents and two younger brothers, Austin and Ryan. Performance has been an aspect of Courtney's life for many years, one that has been fostered through her participation in the Miss America organization. She held the title of Miss Virginia's Outstanding Teen 2009 and competed in the Miss Virginia pageant for 4 consecutive years. After finishing first runner-up in the 2015 Miss America pageant, Courtney's journey has rewarded her scholarships totaling over $70,000. Defying disabilities is the platform issue which Courtney will bring throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia during her year of service. Her brother Austin has cerebral palsy and autism, which has inspired her to pursue advocacy, watch those words, for the disabled community. Their experiences have molded her vision of respect, understanding, and above all, inclusive environments. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Courtney Page Garrett.
What a great introduction. Could we give our MC another big round of applause? So I've had the privilege of being able to speak at a few graduations, and I know this is the part where everybody sits back and looks at their watch and goes, how long until my baby crosses the stage? So I'll keep it brief, I promise. But it is an honor to be here today with Jack Wires in the house. I had the privilege of meeting some of your wonderful children and the students today. It was so great. I was blessed by the music. Of course, that's a huge part of my heart. And I have some really special things that I'd like to share with the graduates. But I want to start off with talking about your theme, and it's on the front of everybody's program, and it says, we've only just begun. And that's a really powerful theme, especially to have for an 8th grade graduation, and you all may be wondering, what does that mean for me? We've only just begun. Of course, literally you can understand what it means, but on a broader spectrum, what it means is you've closed this chapter. You've accomplished so much. You should be so proud of yourselves, but this is only the beginning. You've embarked on a new journey, a new chapter is open. You have new opportunities at your fingertips. What will you do with them? And so in going with this theme of we've only just begun, moving forward as you go into high school and as you embark on this new chapter of life, there are a few things that I've learned along my journey so far, and a few things that I'd like to share with you all today that I hope you all can bring into this next chapter and into your life to help you be successful. The first thing I want to talk about, and we're going to share 3 things with you, is to dream big. It sounds cliche, we hear it often, but it's so important in order to be successful and have a fulfilled life. You know, when I was 3 years old, I saw the Miss America pageant on TV. I watched it when I was a little girl, and as we mentioned earlier, I grew up in a small town. Pamplin has about 200 people. So when I mean small, I mean really small. And so when this little farm girl from Pamplin with no money and no training said, I want to be Miss America, people thought I was crazy. Like, oh, okay, sweet little girl, that's nice. Okay. And they thought I was crazy. But I believed in myself. And I was so grateful to have people I could surround myself with that believed in me as well. And I encourage you, as you go into high school and you go into the rest of your life, believe in yourself and surround yourself with friends and mentors that believe in you just as much and will challenge you and encourage you to be your very best. Because here I am, 20-some years later, never thought I'd be first runner-up to Miss America and hold the title of Miss Virginia, but I'm here because of the determination I learned along the journey and the people who believed in me. And I encourage you guys to do that as well. And as we mentioned, I competed for Miss Virginia 4 different years, and each year it's a lot of work. So you come up short and you're like, oh man, I have another year of doing this again, okay. But don't be discouraged. The only true failure along your next journey is not trying. So when you have those dreams, don't put limits on them, and don't be discouraged when it doesn't happen for you at first. Another thing I encourage you all is to have goals along the journey. You know, there was a former Miss Virginia, she was asked, are there losers in pageants? And she said yes. Everybody kind of took a step back and thought, that's not the pageant thing to say, honey, no. winner. Oops. Whoopsies. And she said something so remarkable, but it's so true and it's so wise. She said, the losers are the women who go through this program and their only goal is the crown. Their only goal is this materialistic, tangible crown. They totally miss it. There are so many opportunities right at their fingertips to learn and to grow and to develop into stronger women, and then only see their eye on the crown. They missed it. And that's so true in so many aspects of our life, because you will have big goals. I hope each of you have some crazy dream that you want to accomplish. And it's not going to happen for you first, and that's okay. But have goals for yourself along each journey and along each chapter, so that you grow and develop and are becoming successful along that path towards that goal. So it's something that served me so well along my journey as Miss Virginia and going into graduate school, is to learn from your mistakes, to let them build you, not hinder you, and to continue to dream big. You know, we think of pillars in our community, people in history who've inspired us in remarkable ways. Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, the CEO, entrepreneur of Apple. You know, when these incredibly intelligent people started along their journeys, somewhere along the beginning, people thought they were crazy. Yeah, okay, you're going to create a computer that has internet with no cords. Yeah, okay, because that's possible. And Wi-Fi is like second nature to us now. But at the beginning of their journey, people thought they were crazy. So I encourage you guys today, don't limit yourself. Don't be scared to take that dream that seems so out of this world. Don't limit yourself and shoot for the stars. The next thing I want to share with you guys, and especially with the graduates, is be determined. And that's something that's going to be so important in this next chapter and throughout the rest of your life. And I'll tell you a little bit about my life and what I've learned about being determined. As we mentioned earlier, my personal platform is called Defying Disabilities. I have two younger brothers, and one of them, Austin, has cerebral palsy and autism. You know, and that's often met with pity, misunderstanding, sorrow. But if you've ever encountered the beautiful, incredible people that these people are, you realize it's quite the contrary, that we're so blessed that our family has someone like Austin in it. Because I am the person I am today because of the things that Austin has taught me. When he was born, he had a small pneumothorax. It's a small hole in the lung. It wasn't caught in time. His lungs collapsed and he lost oxygen to the brain, which is where the damage set in for the cerebral palsy. He was sent to 3 different hospitals within the first 72 hours of his life. And each hospital came up short. The staff did all they could do. They exhausted all of their resources, every procedure. He had a 6% survival rate, which means he had a 94% fatality rate. 94% chance that he was going to die. They brought myself in and the rest of my family to say goodbye. And at the time I was much younger, I thought it was just a temporary departure. Okay, I'll see you when you get home, Austin. They'd given up hope. It was over. End of the road for Austin. And the doctors came to my family and they said, there's one last procedure we can do. We don't know the side effects. It's in experimental phases, but it's our last hope. And of course, my family said, absolutely, anything to save our child, anything that we can exhaust. And so they did the procedure and they waited and they prayed and they waited. And it was a long, grueling 3 weeks. My mother said it was the longest 3 weeks of her entire life. They didn't know what was going to happen. But Austin was not done fighting. And we were able to bring him home, but the struggle had just began. We noticed delays in his development. He had his first seizure, and then he was labeled with cerebral palsy and autism. And growing up with Austin and around my family, I realized determination is the foundation of everything that they did. My family could have given up. The doctors had given up. The nurses had given up. No one believed in this poor, sick child. There was no hope. My parents could have looked at their situation and say, well, it didn't turn out the way that we wanted to, so, oh well. Why bother? But they didn't. Life took a different turn. I'm going to tell you guys right now, life is not going to go the way you want it to. I'm only 22 years old and life hasn't gone the way I wanted it to sometimes. That's okay. What defines you is not your circumstances, but how you respond to those things that happen in your life. And my family and my brother said, we will not let this define us or limit us. And they chose to open their eyes to a new path and embrace this new chapter of life. And Austin humbles me and teaches me so much every day. When I'm complaining about having too many emails to write or sitting in traffic, I quickly am humbled and realize Austin will never read or write. He'll never live on his own. He'll never go to college. He'll never drive a car. I have so much to be grateful for. How dare I complain? And in that same light, Austin buttoning his pants one day would be the same thing as someone walking across the stage and getting a doctorate. So I encourage you guys to be determined along your own path and know that each of you have your own gifts and talents and you are unique, and that each of you will have your own unique milestones. Don't compare your path to somebody else's. And that leads me to my final point today is to do you. Dream big, stop at nothing to achieve those dreams. Be determined no matter what hand you are dealt, no matter what obstacles you have to overcome. And finally, do you. That means don't compare yourself to somebody else's path. There's no one else in the world like you. If we were all the same, that would be really boring. Don't compare your milestones, your goals, your accomplishments to anybody else's, because your path is uniquely yours. Eleanor Roosevelt, she was a political diplomat. She was the first lady during her husband's term as president of the United States. She said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." So I encourage you graduates, as you go into high school, as you go into the rest of your life, decide what legacy you want to leave. You know, when you're gone, or when you've graduated, what do you want to be remembered for? What things do you want to leave behind? Do you want to be remembered as somebody who just got through life, who just slid on by and got that degree and just went about their business? Or do you want to make a difference? Decide today what you want to be remembered for. Decide today the impact that you want to leave, because you as one person can do that. If you dream big, if you're determined to stop at nothing to achieve your goals, and you follow your own path. It's easy to take the path that's already been made, but it takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage and a lot of confidence in yourself to make a new path. And I encourage you all to do that. As we mentioned earlier, you've only just begun. It's an honor to get to see you all put this new milestone in your life. Recognize the privilege that's in that diploma. There are millions of people across the world that would dream of being seated where you're sitting, to have an education. Cherish those opportunities and the privileges that are at your hand because of this opportunity that's been given to you. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to share in the celebration. Congratulations to all of you, and best of luck in everything that you do.